A question I commonly receive from clients is, do I need an LLC for my investment property? And in this video, I'm going to show why the answer to that question is yes. So, in order to answer this question, let's take a hypothetical investor. This person has identified an investment property they want to purchase. But what they need to keep in mind is that this investment and this investment property is going to be a business asset. And we want to think of our business assets completely separately from our personal assets. So personal assets, this person owns her own house, has a savings account, has a retirement account, is going to have any number of other personal assets. But this investment property is a business asset. Now, if she were to purchase this investment property and own it in her own name, legally speaking, she is putting all of her personal assets at risk of any liabilities that arise in connection with this business. Because if someone sues her in connection with the business, they are going to be suing her personally because she personally owns the investment property. And that means that not only is the property subject to that lawsuit or any other claims, but so is the savings account, the retirement account, the house, and her other personal assets. However, if she were to purchase the property through an LLC, then the LLC is the owner of the investment property. And aside from any personal guarantee she might have to give to a lender to purchase the property, any other claimants that are suing her in connection with this investment property, as long as she's following proper business LLC formalities, should be limited to only being able to sue the LLC. And the only asset of the LLC is the property itself and most likely a bank account. So in that scenario, the person who sues her over the investment property in that business is not going to have any recourse against her house, retirement account, savings account, and other personal assets. Those are going to be kept safe. So the answer is always yes, you should own your investment property through an LLC or another limited liability. Now, just to take this one step further, and I'm just going to get rid of the picture of the personal assets to avoid cluttering up the picture, but that issue is still going to be the same. But now let's suppose that she's thinking about taking on a partner in this investment property. Again, in addition to the limited liability, which is the number one reason why she should own the property through the LLC, there's going to be some other reasons or advantages to owning the property through the LLC. If she and her partner were to own the property directly, both their names would be listed on the deed to the property. And unless they had a contract, a separate contract just between the two of them, their rights, the ability to sell the property, the percentage ownerships of the property is all going to be dictated by what is set forth in that deed, which is probably going to be pretty limited, and what the rules of joint property ownership are, or tenancy and common ownership. However, if they each own an interest in the LLC and the LLC remains the property owner, now the LLC is the party listed as the owner of the property on the deed. And the two of them can have an operating agreement that is going to define their rights and obligations as owners of this LLC. So now they have the flexibility to say in this operating agreement that they're 50-50 owners or 75-25 owners or any other percentage breakdown. They can agree in this operating agreement as to who will make decisions regarding the property. Perhaps our initial investor, perhaps she has the ability to make all decisions relating to what to do with the property, whether to sell the property, and her partner is just going to be a passive partner who is only providing capital, or perhaps they are going to share decision-making ability. We can put in the operating agreement whether one or both of them has a right to force a sale of the property, to buy out the other person's interest in the LLC and therefore in the property. So we can agree to any number of terms for the partnership and how these two partners are going to own the property through an LLC operating agreement. So by putting that LLC there, not only are we protecting each of their personal assets from liabilities arising in connection with the ownership of the property, but we are also providing a vehicle for them to have a very complex partnership agreement if they choose to have one that provides very specific terms on which they're agreeing to do business with each other. So if you are considering purchasing an investment property, if you already do and you don't own it through an LLC or other limited liability entity like a corporation, you absolutely should transfer ownership into an LLC so that you are protected and you're not putting your personal assets at stake. And to the extent that you have a partner, you can have a partnership agreement or an operating agreement that provides all the terms that you want to govern your partnership and co-ownership of the property. I hope this video has been helpful.